Let the doors be open. How do I start this? Just do it? These are fine. Alors, member for Cape Breton Council will come to order. I have the honor to inform the House that a communication has been received, which is as follows. November 30, 2015. Mr. Speaker, I have the honor to inform you that His Excellency the Right Honourable David Johnston, Governor-General of Canada, and Her Excellency Sharon Johnston will arrive at the Peace Tower at 2:30 p.m. on Friday, the 4th day of December, 2015. When it has been indicated that all is in readiness, Their Excellencies will proceed to the Chamber of the Senate to formally open the first session of the 42nd Parliament of Canada. Yours sincerely, Stephen Wallace. J'ai l'honneur d'informer la Chambre.
I have the honor to inform the House that a communication has been received, the text of which is as follows. November 30th, 2015. Mr. Speaker, I have the honor to inform you that His Excellency, the Right Honourable David Johnston, Governor-General of Canada, and Her Excellency Sharon Johnston will arrive at the Peace Tower at 2:30 p.m. on Friday, the 4th day of December 2015. When it has been indicated that all is in readiness, Their Excellencies will proceed to the Chamber of the Senate to formally open the first session of the 42nd Parliament of Canada. Yours sincerely, Stephen Wallace.
Order. I just want to inform the House, as many of you may realize, that we are simply waiting for the gentleman usher of the Black Rod to arrive from the Senate to summon us to go and hear the speech from the throne.
Mr. Speaker, a message from His Excellency the Governor General. Monsieur le Président, un message de Son Excellence le Gouverneur Général.
Le messager.
Mr. Speaker, it is the pleasure of His Excellency the Governor General that this honourable House attend him immediately in the chamber of the Senate. Monsieur le Président, c'est le plaisir de Son Excellence le Gouverneur Général que cette honorable Chambre se rende immédiatement auprès de lui dans la salle du Sénat.
I'm the Gordie Howe of the Victoria.
May it please Your Excellency,
Order à l'ordre.
the House of Commons has elected me their Speaker, though I am but little able to fulfill the important duties thus assigned to me. If in the performance of these duties I should at any time fall into error, I pray that the fault may be imputed to me and not to the Commons, whose servant I am, and who, through me, the better to enable them to discharge their duty to their Queen and country, humbly claim all their undoubted rights and privileges, especially that they may have freedom of speech in their debates, access to Your Excellency's person at all seasonable times, and that their proceedings may receive from Your Excellency the most favorable construction. Qu'il plaise
May it please Your Excellency. The House of Commons has elected me their Speaker, though I am but little able to fulfill the important duties thus assigned to me. If, in the performance of those duties, I should at any time fall into error, I pray that the fault may be imputed to me and not to the Commons, whose servant I am, and who, through me, the better to enable them to discharge their duty to their Queen and country, humbly claim all their undoubted rights and privileges, especially that they may have freedom of speech in their debates, access to Your Excellency's person at all seasonable times, and that their proceedings may receive from Your Excellency the most favorable construction.
Monsieur le Président.
Mr. Speaker, I am commanded by His Excellency the Governor-General to declare to you that he freely confides in the duty and detachment of the House of Commons to Her Majesty's person and government, and not doubting that their proceedings will be conducted with wisdom, temper, and prudence. He grants, and upon all occasions, will recognize and allow their constitutional privileges. I am commanded also to assure you that the Commons shall have ready access to His Excellency upon all seasonal occasions, and that their proceedings, as well as your words and actions, will constantly receive from him the most favorable construction.
Mr. Speaker, I am commanded by His Excellency the Governor-General to declare to you that he freely confides in the duty and attachment of the House of Commons to Her Majesty's person and government, and not doubting that their proceedings will be conducted with wisdom, temper, and prudence, he grants and upon all occasions will recognize and allow their constitutional privileges. I am commanded also to assure you that the Commons shall have ready access to His Excellency upon all seasonable occasions, and that their proceedings, as well as your words and actions, will constantly receive from him the most favorable construction.
Honourable Senators, members of the House of Commons, Mesdames et Messieurs, as
Ladies and gentlemen,
Her Majesty the Queen, I am pleased to be here to deliver the speech from the throne. A warm welcome to those of you who are returning to your duties as parliamentarians including those who are returning after an absence. Know that your experience is valued. Welcome also to the 197 members who are newly elected. Your enthusiasm and fresh ideas will serve your country well. J'invite.
I call on all parliamentarians to work together with a renewed spirit of innovation, openness, and collaboration. As Governor General, I have seen firsthand what a great country Canada is, from coast to coast to coast. And I also know this: we can be even better. How?
By being smart and caring on a scale as never before. The times we live in demand nothing less. Canada succeeds in large part because here diverse perspectives and different opinions are celebrated, not silenced. Parliament shall be no exception. In this Parliament, all members will be honored, respected, and heard wherever they sit. For here in these chambers, the voices of all Canadians matter. N'oublions pas tout.
Let us not forget, however, that Canadians have been clear and unambiguous in their desire for real change. Canadians want their government to do different things and to do things differently. They want to be able to trust their government. And they want leadership that is focused on the things that matter most to them. Things like growing the economy, creating jobs, strengthening the middle class, and helping those working hard to join it. Through careful consideration and respectful conduct, the government can meet these challenges and all others brought before it. By working together in the service of all Canadians, the government can make real change happen. It will do so in the following ways.
First and foremost, the government believes that all Canadians should have a real and fair chance to succeed. Central to that success is a strong and growing middle class. The government will, as an immediate priority, deliver a tax cut for the middle class. This is the fair thing to do and the smart thing to do for Canada's economy. The government has also committed to provide more direct help to those who need it by giving less to those who do not. The new Canada Child Benefit will do just that. And recognizing that public investment is needed to create and support economic growth, job creation, and economic prosperity, the government will make significant new investments in public transit, green infrastructure, and social infrastructure. To give Canadians a more secure retirement, the government will work with the provinces and territories to enhance the Canada Pension Plan. The employment insurance system will be strengthened to make sure that it best serves both the Canadian economy and all Canadians who need it. To create more opportunities for young Canadians, especially those from low and middle-income families, the government will work with the provinces and territories to make post-secondary education more affordable. And to support the health and well-being of all Canadians, the government will begin work with the provinces and territories to develop a new health accord. The government will undertake these and other initiatives while pursuing a fiscal plan that is responsible, transparent, and suited to challenging economic times. Deuxièmement, le gouvernement s'engage à être ouvert et transparent.
Second, the government is committed to open and transparent government. The trust Canadians have in public institutions, including Parliament, has at times been compromised. By working with greater openness and transparency, Parliament can restore it. To make sure that every vote counts, the government will undertake consultations on electoral reform and will take action to ensure that 2015 will be the last federal election conducted under the first-past-the-post voting system. To restore public trust and bring an end to partisanship, the government will follow through on its commitment to reform the Senate by creating a new, nonpartisan, merit-based process to advise the Prime Minister on Senate appointments, and to give Canadians a stronger voice in the House of Commons. The government will promote more open debate and free votes, and reform and strengthen committees. Also notable are the things the government will not do. It will not use government ads for partisan purposes. It will not interfere with the work of parliamentary officers, and it will not resort to devices like prorogation and omnibus bills to avoid scrutiny.
Third, the government will prove to Canadians and to the world that a clean environment and a strong economy go hand in hand. We cannot have one without the other. Protecting the environment and growing the economy are not incompatible goals. In fact, our future success depends and demands that we do both. Last week, First Ministers met ahead of the international climate change talks, a first step in an important and ongoing process. Working together, the government will continue to provide leadership as Canada works toward putting a price on carbon and reducing carbon pollution. To encourage economic growth, the government will make strategic investments in clean technology, provide more support for companies seeking to export those technologies, and lead by example in their use. And as part of efforts to restore public trust, the government will introduce new environmental assessment processes. Public input will be sought and considered. Environmental impacts will be understood and minimized. Decisions will be informed by scientific evidence. And Indigenous peoples will be more fully engaged in reviewing and monitoring major resource development projects. Quatrièmement, le programme.
Fourth, the government's agenda reflects that Canada's strength is its diversity. Canadians elected a government to bring us together, not to set us against one another. Canada is strong because of our differences, not in spite of them. As a country, we are strengthened in many ways by our shared experiences, by the diversity that inspires both Canada and the world, and by the way that we treat each other. Because it is both the right thing to do and a certain path to economic growth, the government will undertake to renew, nation to nation, the relationship between Canada and Indigenous peoples, one based on recognition of rights, respect, cooperation, and partnership. Among other measures, the government will work cooperatively to implement recommendations of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission of Canada, will launch an inquiry into missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls, and will work with First Nations so that every First Nations child receives a quality education. The government will make it easier for immigrants to build successful lives in Canada, reunite their families, and contribute to the economic success of all Canadians. In response to a pressing international need, and underscored by Canadians' desire to help, the government will welcome 25,000 new Canadians from Syria to arrive in Canada by the end of February 2016. In gratitude for the services of Canada's veterans, the government will do more to support them and their families. The government will support CBC Radio-Canada, encourage and promote the use of Canada's official languages, and invest in Canada's cultural and creative industries.
Fifth, the government is committed to providing greater security and opportunity for Canadians. Canadians are open, accepting, and generous people. We know that helping those in need strengthens our communities and makes them safer and more prosperous places to live. The government will strengthen its relationship with allies, especially with our closest friend and partner, the United States. Internationally, the government will focus its development assistance on helping the world's poorest and most vulnerable. To contribute to greater peace throughout the world, the government will renew Canada's commitment to United Nations peacekeeping operations and will continue to work with its allies in the fight against terrorism. To keep Canadians safe and be ready to respond when needed, the government will launch an open and transparent process to review existing defense capabilities and will invest in building a leaner, more agile, better equipped military. And to expand economic opportunities for all Canadians, the government will negotiate beneficial trade agreements and pursue other opportunities with emerging markets. Recognizing that Canada is fundamentally a safe and peaceful country, the government will continue to work to keep all Canadians safe, while at the same time protecting our cherished rights and freedoms. To that end, the government will introduce legislation that will provide greater support for survivors of domestic violence and sexual assault, that will get handguns and assault weapons off our streets, and that will legalize, regulate, and restrict access to marijuana. Le programme présenté aujourd'hui est certes ambitieux.
The agenda outlined today is an ambitious one, but it is not one forged in isolation. Rather, it is the result of conversations with Canadians who told the government, plainly and honestly, what they need to be successful. Canadians are confident people. We know who we are, and we know what kind of country we want to live in.
That Canada is capable of. And we know that our success is not only about doing well for ourselves, but also about leaving an even better, more peaceful, and prosperous world for our children. As you consider the important work that lies ahead, remember that Canadians have placed their trust in you. It is now your sacred responsibility to help build that better world. By focusing on growing our middle class, on delivering open and transparent government, on ensuring a clean environment and a strong economy, on building a stronger Canada, and providing greater security and opportunity, the government will make real change happen. It will prove that better is not only possible, it is the inevitable result when Canadians work together. Mesdames et Messieurs les députés,
Members of the House of Commons, you will be asked to appropriate the funds required to carry out the services and expenditures authorized by Parliament.
Honourable members of the Senate and members of the House of Commons, may divine providence guide you in your deliberations and make you faithful custodians of the trust bestowed upon you.
Order. Alors. I have the honor to report that the House, having attended on His Excellency the Governor-General in the Senate chamber, I informed His Excellency that the choice of Speaker had fallen upon me, and in your names and on your behalf, I made the usual claim for your privileges, which His Excellency was pleased to confirm to you. Mr. Trudeau, seconded by Mr. LeBlanc, moves for leave to introduce a bill respecting the administration of oaths of office. This motion is deemed adopted. Mr. Trudeau, seconded by Mr. LeBlanc, moves that the bill be now read a first time. This motion is deemed adopted. Monsieur Trudeau,
Mr. Trudeau, seconded by Mr. LeBlanc, moves that the speech of His Excellency delivered this day from the throne to both Houses of Parliament be taken into consideration later this day. Is it the pleasure of the House to adopt the motion?
Adopté.
Carried.
I have the honor to inform the House that when this House did attend His Excellency this day in the Senate chamber, His Excellency was pleased to make a speech to both Houses of Parliament. And to prevent mistakes, I have obtained a copy which is as follows. Shall I dispense? Agreed? Agreed. Suite aux discussions.
Following discussions among representatives of all parties in the House, I understand that there is an agreement to observe a moment of silence. I now invite the House to rise and observe a minute of silence in memory of the victims of the tragic event that happened 26 years ago at École Polytechnique in Montreal.
Merci. The Honourable Government House Leader.
Mr. Speaker, there have been discussions amongst the parties, and I think if you seek it, you'll find unanimous consent for the following motion.
That the House desires to recognize the long and distinguished service of Ms. Audrey Elizabeth O'Brien, service as Clerk of the House of the Commons, and that she be named Clerk Emeritus and High Functionary of the House with right to enter the House, and that a seat be reserved for her in the office.
Does the honourable minister have the unanimous consent of the House to move the motion? Yes. Agreed. The House has heard the terms of the motion. Is it the pleasure of the House to adopt the motion? Yes. Carried.
I have the honor to inform the House that the following members have been appointed as members of the Board of Internal Economy for the purposes and under the provisions of the Parliament of Canada Act, subsection 50(2), namely the Honourable Dominique Leblanc and the Honourable Judy Foote, members of the Queen's Privy Council. Mr. Andrew Leslie, representative of the Government Caucus.
Mr. Andrew Scheer and Mr. Gordon Brown.
Mr. Andrew Scheer and Mr. Gordon Brown, representatives of the Conservative Party Caucus, and Mr. Peter Julian, representative of the New Democratic Party Caucus. The Honourable President of the Treasury Board.
I move, seconded by the Minister of Justice, that the business of supply be considered at the next sitting of the House.
Mr. Bryson, seconded by Ms. Wilson-Raybould, moves that the business of supply be considered at the next sitting of the House. Is it the pleasure of the House to adopt the motion? Carried.
It is my duty to inform the House that a total of 1 day will be allotted for the supply period ending December 10th, 2015.
Following my election as Speaker, I have consulted with the leaders of the recognized parties regarding the nomination of the other chair occupants. I am now prepared to propose for the ratification of the House a candidate for the position of Deputy Speaker and Chair of Committees of the Whole. Pursuant to Standing Order 7, I propose Mr. Stanton for the position. I propose Mr. Stanton for the position of Deputy Speaker and Chair of Committees of the Whole. The motion is deemed moved and seconded. Is it the pleasure of the House to adopt the motion? Carried.
Honourable Government House Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move, seconded by the Minister of Justice, that the Standing Committee on Procedure and House Affairs be appointed to prepare and report lists of members to compose the standing and standing joint committees of this House, and that the Committee on Procedure and House Affairs be composed of Larry Bagnell, Arnold Chan, David Graham, Ginette Petitpas-Taylor, Ruby Sahota, Anita Vandervelde, Scott Reed, Randy Hoback, Blake Richards, and David Christopherson.
Hello. Mr. LeBlanc, seconded by Ms. Wilson-Raybould, moves that the Standing Committee on Procedure and House Affairs be appointed to prepare and report lists of members to compose the standing and standing joint committees of this House. And may I dispense? It is the pleasure of the House to adopt the motion. Carried. Ordre du jour.
Orders of the day. Consideration of the speech of His Excellency the Governor-General to both Houses of Parliament.
Honorables députés,
Honorable members,
Matapédia.
Honorable Lamitis Metan Metapedia. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I am particularly proud to be here today in this House. I would like to thank the people of Lamitis Metapedia Matan for having trusted me and elected me as their MP. I will work tirelessly to represent all of our citizens over the course of my mandate. We have committed to bringing real change, and that is exactly what the government is committed to do by doing things differently. Canadians want a government that will keep its promises and that is focused on what is most important to them: economic growth, job creation, strengthening the middle class, and helping those who are working hard to join the middle class. That is exactly what was reaffirmed in the speech from the throne today. Our government will reduce taxes for the middle class. It will put in place the Canada Child Benefit, which will offer more than families have been getting to date, and it will be non-taxable. That's money that is going to stay in Canadian families' pockets.
Mr. Speaker, we will keep these commitments because we're asking the wealthiest to do a bit more to help redistribute the wealth in Canada. After working hard their entire lives, my constituents, like Canadians from all over the country, deserve a safe and deserve to be able to retire in dignity. We will have a program that will provide for stable retirement income, and working together with the provinces and territories, workers and associations for retired people will cooperate to improve the Canada Pension Plan. We will bring the eligibility age for OAS and the guaranteed income supplement to 65 years. The benefits will be improved for low-income seniors living alone, so they will have more money to deal with the cost of living, and we will restore the CPI for seniors. We will not abolish income splitting for seniors. Mr. Speaker, for our youth, we will promote their political involvement. We will be creating a Prime Ministerial Advisory Council to provide the Prime Minister with objective advice on issues of the day. This council will be made up of 16 to 24-year-olds from all over Canada. Mr. Speaker, I've already received a letter from Samuel Perrault, a young man, a 16-year-old in my riding, who would like to be a part of that advisory council. Other young people have also been working tirelessly to support us throughout the election campaign. Mr. Speaker, these young men and women are the leaders of tomorrow, and I know that together, my children, our children, will be in good hands. Mr. Speaker, we will strengthen the EI system to make it more flexible, to provide benefits to Canadians when they truly need them. This will help them build the skills they need for their next jobs, and EI will better reflect our job market. We will reduce premiums to reduce the payroll taxes for workers and for employers. We will reduce the waiting period from 2 to 1 week, and we will create higher service standards, including a reduction in the waiting period. Mr. Speaker, as the throne speech said, our government will implement steps around infrastructure.
Interest rates for new investment are at historic lows. Our current infrastructure is aging, and Canada is in immediate need of a boost in economic growth. Each year, over the next decade, we will steadily increase federal infrastructure investment. We will almost double federal infrastructure investment to nearly $125 billion over 10 years. Hear, hear. This will be the largest new investment in infrastructure in Canadian history.
Our government will quadruple federal investments in public transit over 10 years. This will respond to the call from the municipalities to increase public transit projects. And finally, in keeping with the Liberal government's promise to make historic investments in social infrastructure, we will restore the priority on affordable housing and residences for seniors. We will also reinvest in leisure facilities. We will build more housing units and promote the renovation of existing units. We will build the stock of cooperative housing and affordable housing, and we will invest in green infrastructure. Projects will be supported for water supply and wastewater treatment. We will do things to fight climate change and clean energies. We will invest in an innovation program that will directly support startups, research, and we will offer other forms of assistance to small and medium-sized businesses that wish to export. We will also promote the stimulation of innovation and research at universities and colleges.
Mr. Speaker, we will invest more annually to create sector-specific strategies that support innovation and clean technologies in forestry, fisheries, mining, energy, and agricultural sectors. These strategies will be developed in collaboration with the private sector, government, and research institutions with the objective of producing real innovation that can be deployed in our natural resources sectors, commercialized, brought to scale, and exported. We will invest in clean technology producers so that they can tackle Canada's most pressing environmental challenges, whether in our air, in our water, and on our land. This means we will invest more per year in organizations that have been successful at supporting the emergence of clean technology firms, including Sustainable Development Technology Canada. We will also work in partnership with the private sector to enhance the availability of venture capital for new, clean technology.
Mr. Speaker, as was set out in the throne speech, our government will guarantee access to education and economic opportunities for First Nations built on recognition and respect for Aboriginal and treaty rights. When it comes to funding for education for First Nations, we will step up.
New funding each year in core funding for kindergarten through grade 12 programs. This will include money committed by the previous government that has yet to flow, plus an additional in incremental funding. Over the next 4 years, this will represent a $2.6 billion new investment in helping First Nation students learn and succeed.
We will also invest more money in school infrastructure for First Nations. We will inject more money into the program to support post-secondary studies. Aboriginal communities will be able to better able to promote their language.
It's time for Canada to have a renewed nation-to-nation relationship with Indigenous peoples based on recognition, rights, respect, cooperation, and partnership. This is both the right thing to do and a sure path to economic growth.
Mr. Speaker, I never thought I would get into politics. It was never my goal to become a politician. The reason I'm here today is because my riding of Avignon-La-Métis-Matane-Matapédia is in the Gaspé area, and we are dealing with excessively hard times. My region is one of the 10 poorest ridings in the country. In my region, we have the 10 most devitalized communities. Our unemployment rate is around 17%, and the further east you go, the higher the rate gets.
In my riding, we have two great Mi'kmaq communities, Listigouche and Gaspé-Pigyag. And I thank them for their support. And I say to them, we're all in, which means thank you. But in these communities, the unemployment rate reaches almost 40%. Monsieur le Président,
Mr. Speaker, families are leaving our region because they can't find jobs. They're leaving our marvelous region to go to major cities like Quebec City and Montreal in the hopes of finding jobs. Our industries are slowing down. Companies are closing their shutters regularly. We have family operations that have been around for 40 years that are going bankrupt. We had a bike manufacturer that no longer exists. I have worked very hard for 17 years for the federal government in departments like Justice Canada, Agriculture Canada, Health Canada, and also here in the National Capital Area for Public Works and Government Services. And I also headed up a CEGEP. My wife and I have 4 young sons, and I can assure you that I wasn't looking for new challenges or a new job. I was proud of my work and my students, but my wife and I decided to go into politics in order to use my skills and my knowledge for the benefit of all my constituents. In my riding and in other regions, we need some real help. We need tools. We need to create an environment that promotes economic development in the regions. We need sustainable jobs. We need investments in infrastructure, for example, so that the port of Matane can survive in the long term and take full advantage of our maritime potential. We need to support projects so that leisure craft, tourists, and fishers have access to adequate infrastructure. We need to extend the airport runway in my riding so that it can be a truly regional airport and support economic development. Mr. Speaker, since 2006, the number of federal officials has gone down by 28% in my riding, in the 2 ridings that form the Gaspé and the Magdalen Islands. We've also lost hundreds of jobs, and that's like losing thousands of jobs in bigger ridings. In various towns in the Gaspé area, to illustrate the impact of job losses, one constituent had to commute 8 hours a day to and from his job in Quebec City just to make ends meet. This constituent had sent her forms by mail, but there was information missing, and so she had to take a day off work in December to show up in person to get a passport in Quebec City in order to get expedited processing. So that's just an example of a constituent who had to travel for 8 hours to get a passport. That's an example of the poor service in the regions. Federal officials in the regions contribute to the vitality of our regions. Those officials allow EI claimants to get their benefits. Those workers in the regions provide services. They digitize documents. They help make our archives available. They help reconcile the accounts. These are conscientious workers, committed, devoted workers that provide quality service to Canadians in the regions. Mr. Speaker, my hope is that new opportunities can be created for federal officials in the regions. I'd like to support and contribute to the development of various sectors. Mr. Speaker, the government's policy as set out in the throne speech fully coincides with the needs of my constituents. Mr. Speaker, I have confidence in our region. I have confidence in young people, artists, creators, entrepreneurs. I have worked hard in recent years, and I will continue in this new role to work hard and with determination. Mr. Speaker, I'm proud to be a part of this government. I have confidence in our government. Mr. Speaker, I would like to move the following motion in an address in reply to the speech from the throne.
Presented to His Excellency, the Governor-General of Canada. To His Excellency, the Right Honourable David Johnston, Chancellor and Principal Companion of the Order of Canada, Chancellor and Commander of the Order of Merit, of Military Merit, Chancellor and Commander of the Order of Merit of the Police Forces, Governor-General and Commander-in-Chief of Canada. Qu'il plaise à votre Excellence.
May it please Your Excellency, we, Her Majesty's most loyal and dutiful subjects, the House of Commons of Canada, in Parliament assembled, beg leave to offer our humble thanks to Your Excellency for the gracious speech which Your Excellency has addressed to both Houses of Parliament. Thank you.
Monsieur Massé, appuyé.
Mr. Massey, seconded by Ms. Sahota, moves that the address be presented to the Governor-General of Canada. May I dispense?
Questions and comments? The Honourable Member for Lakeland.
I'm proud to speak on behalf of the people of Lakeland, the heart of farming, forestry, and oil and gas country. The hard-working men, women, and businesses there make an outsized and outstanding contribution of jobs, innovation, and government revenue to all of Canada. But homegrown businesses and workers in the energy sector are struggling. Low global oil prices, barriers to export markets, and fiscal and regulatory uncertainty are causing massive job losses. And I'm sure that concerns all of us here, because a strong Alberta means a strong Canada. Lowering taxes helps businesses create create jobs and increases government revenue. It leaves more for Canadians to invest in their futures, their families, their charities, and their communities. Cancelling income splitting, clawing back the tax-free savings account, increasing payroll taxes, and imposing a carbon tax would make things so much worse. Can the member please explain how hiking taxes and taking more away from Canadians and businesses will protect jobs?
Good question. Good.
The honourable member for Avignon, Lamitis, Matane Matapédia.
Canadian has made a clear choice in October. They chose a leader and a vision, a solid team, and a clear program that is inspiring. Mr. Speaker, j'ai confiance en notre ministère.
I trust our Minister of Finance, and I'm convinced that his intent is to balance the budget while respecting the deadlines that were presented. Thank you. Questions and comments. The Honourable Member for Jonquière. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I wish to thank my colleague from Avignon, Matapédia Matane, for his excellent speech, his first one in the House. This is the first time I rise in this House, and I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the voters of the riding of Jonquière who have placed their trust in me. And of course, I will have a lot of hard work ahead of me and do my best during this Parliament to represent them as best I can. I also want to congratulate you for your election as Speaker and as Member of Parliament. Thank you very much. Now, to get to my colleagues' comments, the Minister responsible for Canada Post indicated today that his government would not restore door-to-door delivery completely and fully. And yes, the Liberals had promised to restore home mail delivery. Home mail delivery is an important issue for the riding of Jonquière, for the people, and for all citizens of Canada. Like my colleague opposite, doesn't he also think that home mail delivery is essential for the vitality of our communities and that it must be restored? The Honourable Member for Avignon, Lamitis, La Matane, Matapédia. Mr. Speaker, to be very clear, the government made a commitment to establishing a moratorium, and we were particularly clear in presenting all the mandates of all the ministers in a transparent manner. Our commitments are clear, and among those commitments, there was the moratorium. Thank you.
Questions and comments? The Honourable Member for Fredericton.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and congratulations once again for your election as Speaker. That's well deserved, and I'm sure that my mentor will serve us well. I'd also like to congratulate my colleague for his excellent speech. He talked about how we will achieve real change for Canadians through the hard work we will do in this Parliament.
Very good people of Fredericton, as well as my family, for their dear support and the confidence they've placed in me to stand in this place today. People in Fredericton are hopeful once again that the government will look to our region, and in fact all regions, to invest in people and in communities. Constituents tell me they're keen to see the federal government move forward with a keen and ambitious, innovative agenda that in my riding will help spur on entrepreneurialism and scientific pursuits at our world-class universities and our smart high-tech business hub. Ils sont prêts à démontrer.
They are prepared to demonstrate, Mr. Speaker, that with leadership at the federal level, New Brunswick could be a pioneer in innovation and the way we deliver health care.
Military training base to see us care for our veterans once again. These are the priorities in my riding. Et la question que j'ai pour mon honorable collègue.
And my question for my honorable colleague is, what are the priorities that he sees in his own riding? Thank you. The honourable member for Avignon, Métis, Matane, Matapédia. Mr. Speaker, Canadians want a government that keeps its promises and commitments. What's most important is the economy, job creation, and strengthening the middle class, helping people who work hard to be part of it. I have three priorities for my riding: economic relaunching of my riding, and of my riding. Questions and comments. The honourable member for Charlebourg-Saint-Charles. Mr. Speaker, your Assembly, Parliament, the government decided, without consulting Canadians, without a common resolution, to withdraw our CF-18s from Iraq and Syria. I spent 22 years in the Canadian Forces. Leadership is not backing down in the face of the enemy. That's conceding defeat before the battle even starts. Mr. Speaker, while there's an international coalition being formed to destroy the Islamic State, in which Canada should and must participate, we cannot hide behind just providing training. The Prime Minister is limiting this to training when this is combat against the IS forces. It's a lack of action on the part of the Liberals who want to just hide. We're talking about an armed conflict to destroy IS. So will the government revisit its decision and maintain our CF-18s in Iraq and Syria? And if it doesn't have the leadership, at least have some kind of debate in this House so that all of us can have our say on this important issue. The honourable member for Avignon, La Métis, Matane, Matapédia. Mr. Speaker, I'll repeat exactly what I said earlier. Canadians made a clear choice back in October. They chose a leader and a vision, and that's what's going to make the difference in Canada. By working together, all members of this House will deliver the plan that we committed to. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Debate. The honourable member for Brampton North.
Speaker, I want to first thank the Governor General for presenting the government's agenda to Parliament and to the people of Canada. I'm extremely honored to second the motion of my esteemed colleague, Monsieur Remy Massé, regarding the address and reply to the speech from the throne.
Order. Members, a new member. It will be important for her and all members to learn. We address members by the names of their ridings, not by their personal names.
Matisse, sorry. Somebody read that. Matisse, my colleague.
For Brampton North has the floor.
In addition, I'd like to thank the Right Honourable Prime Minister for giving me the opportunity to do so. I want to also take this chance to congratulate each elected member of this House and recognize that we could not be here without the support of some very important people in our lives. I would like to thank my parents, my husband Tajinder Sahota, and our son Nihal for their encouragement and support. It is a great honor and a privilege to serve my constituents of Brampton North here in the 42nd Parliament. I want to thank them for putting their trust in me, and in return, I am committed to serving them with the utmost integrity, humility, and hard work. Mr. Speaker, I was raised in the city of Brampton. I attended its schools, played in its parks, and made my closest friends there. And it is where my family has chosen to make our home. I know firsthand how vibrant and full of promise this city is. And I believe it reflects the true potential of Canada from coast to coast to coast. Brampton embodies the diversity of Canada with its growing population of 600,000. Making it Canada's 9th largest city. It is home to Canadians from various backgrounds, with 50% of its population being born outside of Canada. Over 65% of Brampton's population is that of a visible minority, speaking upwards to 80 different languages, including Punjabi, Portuguese, Urdu, Spanish, Gujarati, Hindi, and so on. Over the last 30 years, I have seen this community, time and time again, come together and strengthen its diversity in unity. His Excellency spoke about how the Canada we know and hold dear today is an accumulation of the diversity and experiences of its people and the way they treat each other. That is why our government is steadfast in its commitment to welcoming and integrating 25,000 new Canadians from Syria. These refugees have faced extreme hardship and tragedies, and we will ensure that, like all Canadians, they have a fair and real chance to succeed. It is the Canadian thing to do. Similarly, our First Nations and Indigenous people right here at home have also faced extreme hardship and injustice. The disappearance and death of nearly 1,200 Indigenous women and girls is an ongoing national tragedy and must come to an end. Hear, hear. Therefore, we immediately launch a national public inquiry into the missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls in Canada. During this last election, Canadians have resoundingly refused to play into the politics of fear. I have received numerous emails and phone calls from my constituents expressing their support for our government's international actions. We will continue to reinforce and strengthen our relations with our allies and work with them to fight against terrorism. Our government will renew our commitment to UN peacekeeping operations and strengthen our reputation for environmental stewardship. Canada will once again lead by example. And to lead, Canada must invest in its future by investing in infrastructure. Our government's historical infrastructure commitment is critical to the prosperity of cities across Canada like my own. The transit infrastructure spending will not only help alleviate traffic congestion in our community, but will also allow people to spend more time with their loved ones and bring jobs closer to home. The development of social infrastructure is the foundation of a strong society. One of our core Canadian values is to take care of those that are vulnerable. In Brampton, the wait times for affordable housing is a shocking 10 years. This is unacceptable, and our government is invested in taking a leadership role to help build more housing units, refurbish existing ones, renew existing co-ops, and provide greater funding to support municipalities. This approach will assist those who need it the most, especially struggling low-income families, single-parent families, and vulnerable seniors. To offer greater flexibility in childcare needs, we will create the Canada Child Benefit to put more money back in the pockets of middle-class and low-income families. This will lift 315,000 Canadian children out of poverty. Together with social infrastructure, this will act as a vehicle in uplifting the status of women, along with giving children a head start in life and offering families the flexibility that is needed in the 21st century. Universal health care is a hallmark of our nation, and we cannot fall behind on building upon it to meet the growing demands of Canadians. While remaining at the forefront of innovation and research, the government will work with the provinces and territories on a new health accord. Just as important as investing in transit and social infrastructure, Canada must plan for the future and invest in green technologies. Canadians share a deep love for the outdoors and a sense of responsibility to protect our environment for the future generations. Therefore, we will be working with the provinces to take action on climate change, invest in clean technologies, and create clean jobs. that a clean environment and a strong economy can and do go hand in hand. The middle class is the heart of the Canadian economy. The best way to grow our economy is by strengthening the middle class and helping those working hard to join it. The end goal is to ensure that Canadians can manage the cost of living. After knocking on countless doors and listening to Canadians, this is their #1 priority, and it will be the #1 priority of this government. The middle class has not seen a decent pay raise in 30 years, and they are struggling to make ends meet. In the face of rising costs, this is why our first act of business will be to introduce and pass legislation to implement a tax cut for the middle class. As previously mentioned, we will also create the Canada Child Benefit to ensure that it helps those that need it the most. It is only when the middle class thrives that all Canadians thrive. The Governor-General mentioned that Canadians gave us a clear mandate, but to govern, a clear mandate to govern. But we cannot achieve this mandate without support. We are committed to working across the aisle and partnering with our provincial and local counterparts to achieve the best for Canadians. In Ontario, our mayors, our city and regional councillors, and our MPPs have welcomed me and my colleagues with open arms. I look forward to cooperating on numerous matters, including enhancing the Canadian Pension Plan to provide more for income security for Canadians when they retire, so that they can do so with dignity, as they are the ones that have worked so hard to build this nation. We will also work with the provinces and territories to make post-secondary education more affordable, so that it is still possible in a country like ours for people of all socioeconomic backgrounds to achieve the Canadian dream, to send their sons and daughters to world-renowned schools without taking out a second mortgage, and so that our youth are not discouraged from pursuing higher education and attaining the skills they need to compete in this global economy. His Excellency raised the importance of restoring trust in our political institutions and ensuring that Canadians are given a stronger voice in Parliament. This government is determined to do just that. 2015 marks not only the year we brought in a gender-balanced cabinet, but it will also be the last federal election under the first past-the-post voting system. In addition to reforming how members are elected, we will reform the Senate to ensure its appointments are merit-based and nonpartisan, strengthening its independent role as a chamber. beginning to see a more open and transparent government, and we will continue this new tone by promoting more open debates and free votes in this House, strengthening our committees, and welcoming the opinions of everyday Canadians. Canada is geographically large, but united in its common goal of peace, order, and good governance. Mr. Speaker, I believe that under this new government and the leadership of our Right Honourable Prime Minister, we will bring forth an era of positive change and prosperity and put divisive tactics aside and no longer hold on to the politics of fear. We must not forget that diversity is our country's best asset and not our weakness. That is why I am proud to stand with a government that is making it easier for immigrants to build a successful life in Canada. Reunite with their families, embrace economic opportunities, and contribute to Canada's prosperity. Many of us are here today, including myself, because at some point our families were welcomed as immigrants with open arms. This gave them the opportunity, and all of us here today, to be nation builders. I encourage all honourable members of this House to support today's motion. I stand before you today, a woman, a mother, a wife, and a proud daughter of immigrant parents. For me, it is both an honour and a pleasure to support the motion on the address in reply to the speech from the throne. Thank you.
Questions and comments? Honourable Member for South Surrey White Rock.
Here, here.
Mr. Speaker. It is an honour to be representing my riding in the constituents of South Surrey White Rock. You know, Mr. Speaker, I was surprised in the speech from the throne that was missing was a clear outline on how much the government was planning to borrow and what they were planning to spend it on. Now, during the election, the Liberals promised that there would be a deficit of no more than $10 billion per year for the next 3 years. And however, this week's report from the Parliamentary Budget Officer already predicts that the government will run deficits of $12 billion over and above the promised $10 billion yearly deficit. So Canadians need to have an open and transparent account of exactly what this government will spend. And Mr. Speaker, in the spirit of openness and transparency, will the honourable member please outline the government's plan so Canadians will know exactly how much they will be paying in extra and additional taxes?
Honourable Member for Brampton North.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. First, I would like to congratulate my colleague on her election. Second, our government was given a clear mandate to invest in our country, and that we plan to do. We will be be decreasing taxes for the middle class. And we will also be open and transparent with our spending. In the weeks to come, you will see the budget unfold, and you will have answers to some of those questions. But tax cuts will be decreased. Thank you.
Questions and comments? Member for Vancouver East.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As this is my first opportunity to rise in this House, let me take this opportunity to congratulate you for being re-elected in this chamber and for your successful election yesterday as our Speaker. I would also like to congratulate the member from Brampton North for her election and for her excellent first speech, and to let her know, Mr. Speaker, that I am looking forward to working with her and indeed all members of this House to making Canada a better place for all Canadians for future generations. Bravo! Now, of course, I would be remiss if I do not recognize the very people, the great people from Vancouver East for electing me to send me here to Ottawa to bring a strong voice, East Van voice, to the House of Commons. Bravo. I intend to speak more about my riding, my beautiful riding, and the priorities for the people from my community in the days to come as I make my maiden speech in the House of Commons. I would like to ask my colleague from Brampton North a question about what the government said in the throne speech about their commitment to combat climate change. The speech from the throne suggested that the government would introduce a new environmental assessment process. This is certainly very encouraging to hear. The environmental assessment process must go along with achievable reduction targets, though, so I would like to ask, first, if the government will actually set ambitious, accountable emission reduction targets with annual progress reports for meeting the targets that are already enshrined in law. And second, if the government's new environmental assessment process will include climate impact assessments so that new projects will not be derailed concrete reduction targets. Third, the new environmental assessment process, would this apply to current...
Order. Honourable member for Brampton North.
Mr. Speaker, I would like to thank my colleague from Vancouver East on her wonderful question and also congratulate you on your election as well.
Order. Order. I remind members to address the chair.
Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, our mandate on the environment has been made quite clear in our ministerially mandate letters that have been posted online, which has been done for the very first time in government's history. So I think this is a great step forward for open and transparent government. And we are also committed to working with our provinces to make sure that we are in line with the province's needs and what they're required to do on environmental change.
Questions and comments? The honourable member for Perth Wellington.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am proud to represent the people of Perth Wellington in this House. In my riding, as in many other ridings in Southern Ontario, jobs are the main concern. The new Liberal government is now suggesting that it will increase taxes on job creators, and questions remain concerning international trade agreements. As we know, Canada is a trading nation which requires open markets. Can this member reassure Canadians and members of this House that her government will support the TPP and abandon its plan to raise taxes on job creators?
The honourable member for Brampton North.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to thank my honourable colleague from Perth Wellington for his question and also congratulate you on your election as well. Our government is committed, Mr. Speaker, our government is committed to cooperating with across the aisle on international agreements and making sure that trade is a priority for our country in order to grow our economy. Mr. Speaker, however, we must also always balance the interests of Canadians with those agreements, and our government is committed to making sure we achieve the correct balance when doing so. Thank you.
Questions and comments? We have time for a very short question from the member from St. Catharines.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, thank you. I'm honored and humbled to be here to rise in this House, my very first opportunity. And I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the people of St. Catharines, Ontario, for their trust, and to my family for their support through this lengthy election and this transition time. To my honourable friend, I have an important question. Though the people of St. Catharines, Ontario are hopeful, almost 23% of children in St. Catharines are living in poverty. That's nearly 1 in 4. Struggling on a daily basis like so many others across Canada. Can my honourable friend please inform the House how our government will tackle the issue of child poverty in Canada and St. Catharines? Thank you.
Honourable member for Brampton North, a very short answer.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to thank my colleague from St. Catharines for his question and congratulate you on your election also. Our government will be creating the Canada Child Benefit Plan, with which 9 out of 10 families will receive the assistance that they deserve, and 315,000 children will be lifted.
The Honourable Leader of the Official Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, I would like to thank the motioner and the seconder for their speeches, and I move that, and when the debate resumes, I will speak to it.
Speaker, when we come back next week, I will be doing my response to the speech from the throne. It may not be quite so sunny as what we've heard on the other side, but I look forward to that. To that end, Mr. Speaker, and what everyone has been waiting for, I move, seconded by the Deputy Leader of the Official Opposition, the member from Lac-Saint-Jean, that the debate be now adjourned.
Ms. Ambrose, seconded by Mr. LaBelle, moves that the debate be now adjourned. It is the pleasure of the House to adopt the motion. Carried. The Honourable Government House Leader. Order, order, order. Hello. I didn't say it was time to go home, folks. The Honourable Government House Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, there have been consultations amongst the parties, and I believe if you seek it, you'll find unanimous consent for the following motion, that notwithstanding any usual or normal practice of the House, until December 10th, 2015, Standing Order 81 be amended as follows. The paragraph 5
Section 5 be replaced with the following. Supplementary estimates shall be deemed referred to a committee of the whole House immediately after they are presented in the House. A committee of the whole shall consider and shall report or shall be deemed to have reported the same back to the House not later than one sitting day before the final sitting or the last allotted day in the current period.
By a Minister of the Crown, consideration of the supplementary estimates shall be taken up by a committee of the whole immediately following the consideration of a motion under the provision of Standing Order 83.3 and 4 for a period of time not exceeding 3 hours. During the time provided for consideration of the supplementary estimates pursuant to this paragraph, no quorum calls, dilatory motions, or requests for unanimous consent shall be received by the Chair. No member shall be recognized for more than 15 minutes at a time, and the member shall not speak in debate more than 10 minutes during that period. The 15 minutes may be used both for debate and for posing questions to the Minister of the Crown or a parliamentary secretary acting on behalf of the Minister. When the member is recognized, he or she shall indicate how the 15 minutes is to be apportioned. Furthermore, within each 15-minute period, each party may allocate time to one or more of its members for speeches or for questions and answers, provided that, in the case of questions and answers, the minister's answer approximately reflect the time taken by the question, and provided that, in the case of speeches, members of the party to which the period is allocated may speak one after the other. At the conclusion of the time provided for the consideration of the business pursuant to this section, the committee shall rise, the estimates shall be deemed reported, and the House shall immediately adjourn to the next sitting day, and that subject to the provisions of this order, the business of supply shall otherwise be conducted in accordance with Standing Order 81. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Minister, does he have unanimous consent of the House to move the motion? Agreed. The House has heard the terms of the motion. Is it the pleasure of the House to adopt the motion?
Adopté.
Carried. The Honourable Government House Leader.
I rise on a point of order just to make a very brief statement. I apologize for the rather lengthy one previously. On the House business for the coming week, we didn't have the usual Thursday question, so I wanted colleagues to have a very quick overview of our plans for next week. Monday, the House will have the first day of debate on the address and reply to the speech from the throne. Tuesday will be the second day of debate on the address in reply. Wednesday, pursuant to the motion that was just graciously adopted by the House, following the consideration of a Ways and Means motion, the House will resolve into Committee of the Whole for the purposes of considering supplementary estimates. Thursday, Mr. Speaker, will be the first and last allotted day for the Conservative Party in the fall supply period, and Friday the House will complete the third of 6 days of debate on the address in reply. The House would then stand adjourned, Mr. Speaker, until January 25th, 2016. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And, Mr. Speaker, this is the moment people have been waiting for. Finally, I move, seconded by the Minister of Justice, that this House do now adjourn.
Mr. LeBlanc, seconded by Ms. Wilson-Raybould, moves that this House do now adjourn. Is it the pleasure of the House to adopt the motion? Carried. I want to inform honourable members that we are all invited to a reception in the Hall of Honour on the occasion of the speech from the throne. This House stands adjourned until next Monday at 11 a.m., pursuant to Standing Order 24-1.